What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Morning Momentum. Excited to have you guys back. Happy Friday. This is part 5 of our series this week. This is the first time you're tuning in. My name is Matt Beard. I own a real estate investing company here in Phoenix, Arizona. We buy properties nationwide, the ugly ones and the pretty ones. So if you do have something, if you're in real estate and you're like, man, I need a cash buyer for this property, send them our way. There's a good chance we will buy it. And we are actual end buyers. So we do fix and flips. We buy and hold, do the whole shebang. So send them our way if you got anything, guys. Also, to that end, we own a virtual staffing company. So we've been able to do the fix and flips and all these other things that we work on by finding leverage in our business. We do that with virtual assistants. Virtual assistants run basically our entire operation on going direct to seller. So when we are reaching out to homeowners, seeing if they're interested in selling their property, all the way to contracting those things, all done with virtual assistants. So we've been able to do that. Super duper cool. It's something I talk about every single week. If you guys are trying to find similar leverage in your business, doesn't matter if you're a real estate agent or a real estate investor, you do wholesaling, whatever that might be, a virtual assistant can get it done for you. So guys, go to vahub.com, book a discovery call, see if we could be the right fit for you. So guys, back to what we're talking about today. It is part 5 of getting started in wholesaling. Up to this point, we've talked about texting, as that is the path of least resistance to start finding motivated sellers. So if you don't have your confidence yet, right? If you don't feel comfortable having those conversations because you just haven't had one yet, that's okay. It's okay to do the path of least resistance, which is texting and finding folks who are going to raise their hand and say, yes, what's your offer? Or yeah, I'd sell for this amount. You should be getting your repetitions with those people. Even if they're asking retail on your text, it would be good in the beginning to start having those conversations. Anyone who wants to sell their property would be good repetitions for you, right? Obviously, as time goes on, your skills are going to increase, and you want to make sure that you're put in the best position to talk to the right people, right? Who are ready to sell and have been motivated, who are motivated and been vetted. But as of right now, if you're just getting started, man, just get those reps. So we talked about texting. Obviously, the way that we do text, even at scale, is text. Someone raises their hand. Perfect. We push it to a phone call as soon as possible, right? These people don't know us. They don't know me. I want to get them on the phone call. I don't want to continue to text them because all of a sudden they'll ghost you and then you won't hear from them again. So as soon as you can, push them to a phone conversation. So guys, that is important. That is something that you should definitely be doing in your business. So texting to phone call, right? From that point, after you push it to a phone call, we talked about door knocking for the folks who, don't answer their phone the first time around. Being able to knock on their door, be efficient at door knocking, stepping out of your comfort zone. Today, we want to talk about follow-ups, right? And I'm going to keep it short and sweet for you guys so you can get some value here and you start applying it, because it is the weekend. It is Friday. Hopefully, you guys are doing something in your business today, and you're going to take what you learned here today, or maybe just give you an idea of something and you start taking action on it, because the week, like Friday and the weekend, is the best time to reach homeowners. Obviously, I know this Sunday in particular is Easter Sunday. So guys, probably wouldn't want to do anything on Easter Sunday, but it's a great opportunity today and tomorrow to get a hold of the right people. So let's talk about follow-ups. A lot of people reach out and ask about autoresponders. They ask about how do you send automated text messages and all this stuff. We basically take our leads and we put them in 3 different buckets. Okay. So those 3 buckets are, number 1, the people that are ready to sell in the next 30 days. Okay. We haven't got them under contract yet. So, probably 30 to 60 days. We haven't got them under contract yet. So we don't, we're not going to put them in an autoresponder or anything that they're just going to get generic messages from us. That 30 to 60 day window, we still consider they're pretty much ready to sell, right? So we need to get them on the phone. We need to get an agreement. So they're in the decision-making mode. So that's one bucket. And for that first bucket, we do all scheduled follow-ups. So scheduled follow-ups is put it in a calendar. Hey, I'm going to follow up with this person tomorrow. I'm going to follow up with them this week, whatever that timeline is, according to the prospect's timeline, right? If they're like, yeah, within 60 days, I need to talk to my wife, I need to talk to my husband, whatever. We put them on a scheduled personal follow-up. It goes on our calendar, and we make sure that we're calling them, once a day, 2 times, 3 times a week, whatever that might be. But it's actually done physically by our sales reps. Now, the next bucket is kind of that midterm follow-up, right? Anything they're like maybe 3 months out, maybe 3 months to 6 months, right? They're not really sure about the timeline. They're like, yeah, well, I have this going on and this going on. And honestly, we're not really in a position to make a decision because of this, this, and this, right? It's kind of like a midterm follow-up. They're not like super duper cold. They're not like, yeah, I don't know, maybe next year kind of thing, but they're like right there in the middle. So for those people, we have a different set of follow-up sequences for them. So we do have a personal follow-up with them every other week, right? Just to check in. But then during those times, we have autoresponders. So they'll get an automated text message from us once a week, right? And then once a month, they'll get like an automated voice, like a voicemail that we'll send to them. And if we had their email, they'll also get one email every other week too. So whenever we call them every other week, we'll also send them an email every other week. So we're touching them more often than what we would for the long term ones, right? The long term is the third bucket. The third bucket is the folks that are definitely at least 6 months out, nowhere close, because they live in the property and they're like, yeah, we're not moving until this coming Christmas or this fall or whatever, right? The people that are just not ready to make a decision anytime soon, we don't really consider them that motivated, so they go in the third bucket. And the third bucket is they're getting at least a message from us that's automated at least twice a month, and they get a personal message from us, like a personal phone call, at least once a month. Okay, so less touches on the cold ones, but we still want to be top of mind. That's the idea, right? We want to be top of mind right there in front of them whenever they're ready to make a decision. So we don't want them to forget about us. So we want to stay in front of them, and that's how we do it. So guys, when you're doing your follow-ups, so you're getting started in wholesaling, you're going to create a bunch of opportunities. You're going to be texting, you're going to be calling, you're going to be door knocking, you're going to be doing all these things. You need to be sure to follow up, because that's where you make your money. Very, 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 very seldom do you get a deal that is like right then, right there, they're ready to make a decision, boom, contract signed, high five, $10,000, right? Most of the stuff is the follow-ups. Like I'd probably say 95% of our business is from follow-ups. So if you don't have something structured on your follow-ups, this is a good place to start, because you're going to create these opportunities. You're going to start building this pipeline. It's important that you service that pipeline, right? We typically use 3 different buckets. So of course, it's up to you on how you want to do it. But those 3 different buckets are the hot ones, the motivated sellers that are wanting to sell within the next 60 days. Then we have the midterm follow-ups, right? That within that 3 to 6 month time range. And then obviously the long-term follow-ups, where the timeline is just super duper fuzzy. They don't really know. They're definitely needing at least like 7 to 12 months, maybe even 2 years. We'll put them into a long-term follow-up sequence. So we're able to accomplish all this with our CRM. I don't know what CRM you guys use. If you're just getting started, there's free versions of Podio. You don't have to go buy Podio. But of course, if you want everything to have the push button, Globy flow, everything like functions within, create the contracts, create the assignment stuff. You guys have heard me talk about Bomb CRM. Obviously, this is our CRM build out. So if you haven't checked that out, go to bombcrm.com. That is what we use. So all of our follow-up sequences and our responders are within that CRM. Now, of course, if you're getting started and you're bootstrapping, I told you guys you don't want to subscription yourself to death. I said you need BatchDriven, and I said you need batch leads. That's probably the first couple things that I would get. Now, of course, you're going to you're building out this pipeline. It's going to be advantageous to have a CRM. So maybe you get the free version of Podio and just put your leads in there, and you're having to do personal follow-ups for now until you want to pay for a subscription, like what we have at Bomb CRM, where everything can be done within that CRM and everything flows properly, and it's like a conveyor belt for all of your leads. But again, not necessary like right away. But if you're taking massive action on step 1, 2, and 3, and you're texting, you're calling, you're door knocking, right? You're calling your leads from texting, and you're door knocking the ones that just all of a sudden ghost you. If you're keeping that process, yeah, you want to have some sort of structured follow up. And that should be the only thing you worry about for like the first 3 months. Should be just doing those 4 things. Boom, text, boom, call, boom, door knock, follow up. Boom, text, boom, call, boom, door knock, follow up, right? Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. All of your opportunities. You want to squeeze out every single last drop that you can get from the leads you're generating, because you're busting your butt to get these things, right? You're freaking doing everything you can to create these opportunities. The follow-up is the key. Follow-up is the key, and having some way to structure that. That's how we do it with the 3 buckets. Obviously, we use Podio, guys. We use Bomb CRM, but of course, it is up to you what you want to use. But I would say get a CRM earlier so you can at least have some way to organize your leads so you can stay on top of your follow-ups. Because early on, I didn't do this. I was just going out and just creating more opportunities and thinking, I just want to work with the people that are ready to make a decision. Let me go work on the newest leads. And I missed so much in my database. All the action that I was taking, these leads weren't getting followed up on. I call them back after a month and a half. They sold it to someone else. Super duper frustrating. So guys, this is super important. Like, to make the most of your time, to be efficient with the dollars you spend. You already paid. Like, if you paid for the text, you already paid for that person to be in your CRM. Like, if you're paying for a dialer, you already pay for that person to be in your database. So why not maximize it and follow up with those people? I hate follow-ups personally. That's not my forte. But when it comes to like how much money you make on these follow-ups, like, it is so advantageous. And that's why we split it up in 3 buckets. Not every lead is created the same. Not every lead is the same. Split them up so you're not calling the people that aren't ready for 3 to 6 months. You're calling the people that are ready to make a decision in the next 30 to 60 days. Okay, guys, that is what we wanted to go over today. Whatever CRM you use, that is up to you. But be structured with your follow-ups. Think about those 3 buckets. Start taking action. It is Friday. Hopefully you've already been texting this week. Hopefully you've already been calling those leads. Weekends are always a great time to go door knock. Fridays is a great time to go door knock. Today is Good Friday, so there will be people home. So maybe go out and start door knocking today if you haven't. Again, guys, when it comes to this kind of stuff, you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone, because some people have a lot of money to spend and they're paying for VAs and they're paying for all this marketing. And maybe you have some money too, but you want to be efficient. You want to get a proof of concept if you haven't gotten a deal yet. Don't worry. You don't need a VA. You don't need all these things. But if you don't spend the money, which is totally fine, you can't be fancy. You got to do the things that others won't. And it's going to create a massive amount of opportunity for you if you are consistent, right? One day of door knocking is not going to do anything. 1 week of door knocking is not going to do anything. But if you're consistent, it compounds really, really, really quickly. So guys, I hope you start taking action on this. Today is Friday. Get out there and do something about it. If you have any questions for me, please reach out, mattbeard@vahub.com. If you're curious, like how to set up these long-term follow-ups or how to, split your leads up into the buckets and organizing that in Podio, please feel free. Reach out to me, mattbeard@vahub.com. Happy to help you guys any way I possibly can, but you need to start taking some action. Be consistent with it. And just get out there and get it done, guys. Happy freaking Friday. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me on Morning Momentum. We do have BatchDriven live at 10:30, so maybe I'll see you guys then. But if not, I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.